Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm the Fourth here. Today we are back with the last D deck profile we will cover on this channel for 01. Yay! And we have chosen Hexaorb Sorceress because the clown that does OTT has finally built the OTT deck. Yay! Alright, so we are doing Hexaorb. So you may, like I mentioned in the prison deck profile, we are not covering the other, I think 3 to 4 because they are not worth our time. They build themselves or they just complete ass. So yeah, so we just want to get it out of the way. As usual, we have the clown. It is Fayete the Fourth.
Hello again.
Hello again. So we just filmed the turnabout. So good luck with that, fellas. So Hexaorb Sorceress is basically the stand-in for OTT in the D era. So that's pretty much it. This deck we are playing it literally as God Hand Hexaorb.
I mean, like it's not too much of a stretch. I mean, her second skill is literally just God Hand. I mean, her first skill is just God Hand skill on steroids.
So the thing is that because 01 doesn't have a lot of stuff and you can experiment with it, we thought for an 01 deck, what if we did a deck that's just full offense? And that's how we made this deck right here. Spoilers, because we are also going to be covering 02 decks, Hexaorb will be a deck that we will upgrade for 02, and it probably won't look the same as this one. So this is really just an extreme fun deck if you want to try it. So let's get started. Our right line, we have the best starter of D. This is Triconnect, Tier Square,
Pentagleam, Sorceress, Hexaorb Sorceress.
So in case you failed math, this is 3, 4, 5, 6. So where's 1 and 2? I honestly don't want to know. Same starter skill as normal. Tier Square has 2 skills.
So the on-right skill, the one that you play one copy of her, is that when Pentagleam Sorceress rides on top of her, counterblast 1, you draw a card. Yay, Circle Magus, wow, nice to see you again, yeah. And then, so yeah, it's a free draw, so if your opponent...
It's not really free, it's counterblast 1.
I mean, it's counterblast 1, you get a draw, so it's like if your opponent damage denies you, yeah, they deny you a draw, but like, then other than that, yeah, it's pretty good. More cards is always good. And then the second skill is... It's actually a very timely reference because Kronos Command Dragon was reviewed for V Collection because her skill is when you drive check a trigger, which you know it's OTT, so you're definitely going to drive check a trigger. Counterblast 1, you can put one of your opponent's rear guards to the bottom of the deck, so yay, you can even counter for Sard because
no, you must target a unit one. Target can be chosen, so resist still is the thing. But this is definitely the hardest form of removal because we don't have bind, lock, and whatnot. So if you have a pesky Virina Valiante, you just send it to the bottom of the deck. The entire crew, Dren, and family goes to the bottom. The Nirvana player just went like -3, -4 instantly. So it's good. But this deck doesn't play this in the main deck, doesn't it?
Spoiler, yeah, it doesn't. Because honestly, as good as spot removal is for what we're trying to accomplish with the deck, it doesn't really do much because it's more about halting your opponent's progress for the next turn rather than actually doing something on your turn.
So this card is more of a control style Hexaorb, but the thing is we kind of want to kill people because as we said, this is like God Hand. So generally speaking, this card, which is a control card rather than not an offensive card, is not played in the main deck.
Her art is really good.
Her art's really good, yeah. Now we move on to Pentagleam. Pentagleam has 2 skills. When rolled upon by Hexaorb, you look at the top 3 cards of your deck and rearrange them in any order. The thing is that you don't actually get a choice to say, oh, I put this at the bottom of the deck. No, you are forced to play with the same 3 cards. It's just rearranged. So you could rearrange it so you could draw into the pieces you don't want to drive check, or drive check the stuff you want to get drive checked. But beyond that, that's pretty much it. So Pentagleam Sorceress really helps Hexaorb's turn 3. The second skill of Pentagleam is when placed, look at the top card of your deck. If you put it at the bottom of the deck, because you have the option to, this unit gains 2k. So, it's not that bad.
Yeah, being able to check top card is what OTT has been doing for the past 10 years, so it's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Especially since it's a rare.
Rare.
So it's pretty good.
The right lines are quite cheap, so. Now we move on to Hexaorb Sorceress.
So Hexaorb Sorcerer's first skill is when you drive check a trigger, you may give 10k power to one of your front row rear guards. So basically,
no, it's just one of your rear guards.
Oh, is it one of your rear guards?
It was one of your rear guards.
Oh, okay. So, but I mean, spoiler alert, this deck doesn't really play that many back row. It's all about more offensive. So you're going to really give it to one of your front row regards to. So let's say you get like something like a crit trigger, you can give 10k power to both of your units rather than just one. If you get a front trigger, you can give 20k. You can give 20k to one of your units and then give 10k to another. So that's really very very threatening, especially since it's coming at you. If you can have cards that come at you like Facade that's coming at you on hit skill. So if you buff him up all the way to like 63k, 73k, 83k, you name it. You're not unless it's PG or he gets free resources. Or if he stacks crits, it's PG or die.
The thing is that with that 10k skill, if you effectively have a boosting unit behind Hexaorb, you could kind of cheat that ruling of, oh, you can't give Hexaorb the extra 10. If you pump the extra 10 to the back row rearguard, it passes to Hexaorb back. So you effectively just cheated through that skill phrasing. It's a thing that is an actual strategy for Hexaorb, so I just think I have to mention it by virtue.
Yeah. So if your opponent wants to guard, he has to start guarding in intervals of 20 rather than just 10.
If you have a booster. Alright, second skill is where the main thing is at.
So if you have Persona rolled this turn, so take note, it is once per turn, so you do not have to resolve this skill as soon as you Persona, right? So you may counter blast 1, so blast 1. You may put a crit trigger or a front trigger from your hand to the top of the deck, and she gains, and then she will gain drive. Actually, no, it's not a den. She just gains drive +1 for until the end of the turn. So even if you didn't have a crit or front trigger in your hand, you can still use the skill counter blast 1, so blast 1 to give her 3 drive checks. So as you know, the first skill gives her extra power. So if you manage to get lucky with the 3 drive checks, you manage to get 3 triggers, yeah, your opponent's basically dead at that point.
And keep in mind, if you Persona roll this turn, that means the Persona Rights plus 10k effect to the whole front row is already active. So you are looking at just a lot of repetitive numbers over and over again. But that being said, the main weakness of Hexaorb, as you probably could guess, is that it's reliant on turn 4. So generally speaking, you want to try and have your other cards cover up that weakness, so you still have a decent turn 3, turn 2, and so on and so forth. Oh, and that's if you even get to Persona right at turn 4, so...
be careful with your mulligans.
Be careful with mulligans, and you do want to have a good draw engine, which we try to replicate. Our grade 3 lineup, we have 3 copies of Hexaorb, actually 4, because of the right line. Then we play 4 copies of Lephisto.
Yes.
Not Ophisto, it's Lephisto. And we play 4 copies of everyone's favorite grade 3 in the meta. It is Facade. So let's break it down. Hexaorb, really simple. It's just more copies of the same girl. Now let's cover Lephisto.
Okay, so Lephisto's skill is that when you drive check a trigger, which because it's OTT as we said 3 times already, you will definitely drive check a trigger, you counter blast 2 and you stand her and she gains 5k. So the thing about Lephisto is that it's not once per turn. So if you have access counter blast, or you have a Facade that you're able to attack again, you can counter charge, you effectively can restand her twice or even 3 times.
If you get the OT, which allows you to drive check more than once in the same turn.
Yes.
So generally you can stack. It's not hard restricted. That's pretty good. Generally just a helpful multi-attack for Hexaorb, helps you close games a bit more. So yeah, it's definitely appreciated for now. Then of course move on to Facade. Facade has 2 skills. First skill is this unit is resist. Second skill, when his unit attack hits, counter charge 1, soul charge 1. Very simple. It makes prison completely obsolete. It gives your deck kind of good counter charges and soul charges. Only downside is that's all it does. So offensively, this guy does literally nothing for any deck that you put him in. He's just a resource handler / invincible fella. But if you want to actually win the game, or in terms of any form of winning pieces to slash and kill the opponent, Facade does literally nothing to actually help the assault, which is why it's actually a good pick for Hexaorb, since Hexaorb is covering you with all your extra triggers, your crits and whatnot. So your offense department is really covered by that, and Facade is just helping you make sure that your basic game as well as your resources are well taken care of.
And also because you're playing Lephisto, your counter blast is going to go faster than a sales from the main, so you gotta be very careful. So Facade definitely helps with that.
Yeah. Our grade 2 lineup, we play 4 copies of the grade 2 with the right deck, and then 4 copies of this. So we covered this just now. It's more of the same, 4 copies because it's a good main deck unit for now. And then we have this guy.
So this Divine Sister, her skill is that when you drive check a trigger, yes. So yeah, you're gonna see this again very many times. This same clause. Use a once per turn skill. You Soul Blast one, she gains 5k. So because it's a common, obviously your skill is not gonna be that amazing. But even still, because as we covered, Forsat is not the greatest of beaters in the front row. Even with stacking many triggers on top of him, you're going to want something that hits for even harder. And unfortunately, right now, this is actually our best option. It's actually a Divine Sister that just becomes a 15k beater. Persona right 25. If you stack more triggers, you can go all the way up to like 45, 55. If an 8k booster, that's a magic number 63, 73. That is going to hit a lot for a lot of pain, a lot of power to your
Which
opponent.
it does help also because it's a grade 2. So it's a body that can come out on the field faster for early game competition of the board. Of course, I have to mention it right now. In set 2, we have the infinite powerhouse, super phenomenal god that is Owain. And Owain is a really bastard card for a grade 2 rare. So just want to let you know, if you're upset, oh, why are we playing this card? Don't worry, it's instantly booted out as soon as set 2 comes because of Owain. And I cannot wait to do Hexaorb's deck profile O2 strictly because of Owain. The card is just so good. I'm looking forward to it already.
Yes.
I wish you could just proxy Owain.
Yeah, if only I could.
Yeah. But this is a one deck profile. Don't worry, this is our last one, okay? This is our last one. Grade 1s, we play Painkiller, 4 13, 4 PG, and 1 of the right line. So let's cover it out of the way. PG, this is the stronger PG, so you generally want it. If you can't afford it, it's fine, but you should try and get it. Right deck, we already covered it.
Yes.
Now for 13.
So 13 skill is Soul Blast 1 and Rester. If you look at the top 2 cards of your deck, you put one at the top, two at the bottom. Note, you cannot choose to leave both of them at the top. Unlike something like Owain, which you'll see in set 2, you have to put one at the top to one at the bottom. So if you get double trigger, that's very sad. But
And it's also on place.
yeah, it's on play skill. Oh yeah, it's on play skill. So the one thing about Tati is that for now, even though Owain sort of does her job but better in the next set, I do feel like she definitely will still be a mainstay in the deck either way because
Until we get Diamond Sorceress and we throw her out.
because Owain, because let's say you don't draw into your Owain, then you're kind of out of luck if you only have that one trigger on the top of the deck thanks to Hexaorb Persona right, or even if you don't even get Hexaorb Persona right, then you really are out of luck in terms of being able to manipulate the deck and use triggers. So 13 definitely helps in that department for consistency in keeping Hexaorb's first skill active in the offense.
Now we move on to Painkiller Angel, our last grade 1. Painkiller Angel skill is after the turn.
No, at the end of the battle.
At the end of the battle, usually boosters Soul Blast 1, kill itself, you draw. It's a really quick cycle card, good draw engine, it helps in the early game, late game is also fun. Although the big downside is obviously that it's killing itself, so you are losing this booster.
Yeah, but it's a net zero.
Do time when you want to actually use this card, because if you kill this card in the early game, you are getting rid of your booster in the early game. So yeah, that is a problem. But generally speaking, if that's well timed, then this is just a really great effect.
And also for a deck that you really need, that requires so much deck thinning, you really do Painkiller Angel really does help you deck thin until there's only triggers left in the deck. Hopefully, so then Hexaorb's job becomes a lot easier at that point.
Yeah, generally just more pieces is always better. Our triggers and grade 0s, we have the best starter in Overdress. We have 4 copies of Foil Alfredo because we have an Alfredo Simpier. Yes, and then we play 7 crits. We play 4 fronts.
So this front will definitely be replaced with the upgraded front in set 2.
And our OT. Where are the heals? There are no heals. This is very full offensive. Balls to the walls is what some people like to say. It is extremely aggressive Hexaorb build with no heals. Because why heal if you can win, right? So that's the strategy. Of course in set 2 this will change. Most likely there will be heals coming back, most likely, right?
Yes. There will be heals coming back because it's card 5.
But the thing is that generally speaking, we are just playing a very cheese Hexaorb deck since Hexaorb didn't get a lot of great stuff in set 1. But in set 2, that's a totally different story, man. But still, besides that, it's not that bad. It's staple, it's 7 crits for fronts, so you could smell the aggression from here. The OT is obvious because this is just the superior OT for
And Hexaorb, and
Hexaorb.
every time you drive check a trigger using the OT, Hexaorb skill will activate.
Does it?
I think
thought it's
so.
for its drive check.
I think it's for every drive check. I can't remember.
I'm gonna have to Google this afterwards.
Okay, but then in the meantime, I will explain Alfredo because I think you might be scratching your head as to why, if you are going full offense, you are playing draw triggers. I mean, they have 5k shield, they just get you another card. Is it really that good? You can't even use Hexaorb with it. Well, the main reason why Alfredo is probably the same reason why we are playing Painkiller Angel, is that you really need to tag team with this deck to get to your crits, to get to your fronts, to get to your OT in order to end the game. Without Alfredo, you might just end up stuck with a bunch of normal units on the top of the deck and you never get to see your triggers. So the faster you get to those offensive triggers, even if it does mean sacrificing some space in your deck for those offensive triggers, the better you will be able to kill your opponent. As well as also she's very good target to throw a wave to open the right deck, and also she's very good art.
Yes, very good. Oh yeah, I just checked. Yeah, Hexaorb skill says for your drive check. So, any drive check that's done by you. So yeah, the OT does apply. So yeah, it's just generally a great OT. I mean, if you time the OT right, you can get a +5 out of it. So why not take the +5, right? So that's pretty much it for Hexaorb Sorceress. Cheese deck, yes. Real deck, yes. But the thing is that in set 2, this deck will definitely change for the better. Hexaorb is one of the decks that really got so much good stuff from set 1. So I think that's generally why we delayed that deck before, because we were like, oh, should we just review what we have now, or should we just wait for 2 weeks set 2 and then actually do the thing. But we decided to cover one for set 2 since set 2 doesn't come out that early for some people, so we still will cover this deck in set 2, right? You are coming back, right?
Of course.
You're coming back, good. You make sure you come back. Alright, thank you all so much for watching. If you like this video, then like and subscribe. Our last D deck profile, so for set 1. So from here on out, anything you see after this will have the new set 2 support. We're really excited to cover it, especially for the ones who actually got good set 2 support.
Oh no,
Bastion. Okay, but we're not gonna crap on it. Okay, he's still a good deck, so we will still cover it. Especially Bastion. Bastion's a deck I'm looking forward to covering for O2. My version of Bastion intends to be full aggression, but it still has heals, so it's not as bad as this one.
And don't worry, the king will always remain.
The king will always be here.
All done.
Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time. Goodbye. Hey, what's going on, guys? I'm Mrs. 4 here. So this is the first time we're having this because it just so happened that I was still editing this video when this happened. So Fayete the Fourth actually participated in a remote fight tournament and actually got third place. So it was kind of funny that it just happened to be the same list that you have just seen. So I just thought it'd be neat if I just slot it right at the end of the video. I'm going to show you the clip from WCC, but that's pretty much it.
Okay.
Well, this is third place. I think this is Hexaorb. So yeah, Hexaorb, pretty cool. Nice to see it
Showing the pistos.
I mean, we make fun of Hexaorb, but it can still do results. Because I mean, Eugene can get results. So
You realize this deck is like full aggro, runs 0 heals.
Oh, it's true, eh? Wow.
I guess that's how you win with
That's how
like
you win.
Hexaorb. Just flip offensive.
I mean, when you get a trigger, you get an extra 10k.
Yeah.
So not bad.
Why heal?
Yeah, why